y'all, Shelley here with another tip for hospice nurses. So, a lot of our patients are incontinent, but do you ever have the patients that seem to, every time they urinate, they just flood the bed, and the caregiver's having to change the sheets multiple times a day, and it's just exhausting for the caregiver and for the patient both. So here's a couple of tips that might help with that. The one thing I like to use are premie diapers, the little tiny diapers for premature babies. They're perfect. They make this perfect little cup shape, and I like to use them because they are made for very delicate skin of the premature babies, and so they're very soft, they're very hypoallergenic, they don't usually have any rough edges or anything. And for females, what I'll do is cut the sides off, the fastener side, and you have just the little cup. It fits right perfectly in the perineal area without having to tuck any under their skin like you do with adult diaper inserts. And when you tuck that extra under the skin, you're putting them at risk of skin breakdown. These little preemie baby diapers fit right in there perfectly. And on the male patients, you can leave the fasteners on and just wrap them around the source of the urine very loosely and fasten it, and then put the adult diaper over it. Obviously, these are not going to be absorbent enough to catch all the urine of a grown adult, but you'd be surprised how absorbent they are. They'll catch quite a bit of it, and what spills out will be absorbed by their regular adult diaper and won't necessarily go out onto the bed and get the bed wet. These are not typically something, preemie diapers are not something you're going to see in most supply list for hospices, because it's just not something you would expect for a hospice. So what I do is I will purchase them usually at Walmart, and I'll keep a couple of packs in my car, in my trunk at all times. And when I get into a situation where I think it might be useful, I'll take a few out, I'll show the caregiver how to use them, and I'll give them like 5 or 6 from my pack. And if it works, then they can go buy some at Walmart or wherever it is that they shop. And they're not typically that expensive. Another thing that you can do, you can either do in addition to this or on its own, is to double or triple pad the bed. And this is something I learned years ago when I worked in ICU. We do this on all our patients in the ICU. You take a flat sheet, you fold it lengthwise in half, and then you fold that in half so that it covers the patient from about mid-thigh to their upper back. You put that on the bed, tuck it under, and you put 2 chucks on top of that. Then on top of that one, you put another draw sheet and 2 chucks. And on top of that one, another draw sheet and 2 chucks. So you keep doing this. You do this 2, 3, even maybe 4 times, depending on how often they're having to change the bed. So if the urine leaks through onto the padding, all you have to do is roll up that first layer, that first draw sheet and chucks. You roll that one off, and then you have another draw sheet and chucks. And if that one gets wet, you roll that one off, and you have another draw sheet and chucks. So it's much easier on the caregiver to change the bed. It's much easier on the patient, and everyone's a lot happier. I hope this tip was helpful. If you have any tips that would be helpful for hospice nurses, please let me know. I'd love to share them here. And remember, together we can change our world.